Ilana Howell brushed the dust from her cheeks, blinking away the sweat that stung her eyes. She had spent 2 years traveling to remote corners of the galaxy, following the trail of a civilization rumored to have flourished millennia ago. Countless star charts and cryptic records spoke of the Nalathi masters of art, science, and engineering who had somehow vanished without a trace. Their monuments were rumored to be hidden on an unassuming planet named Valis 9, an arid world overlooked by many explorers. Yet, as Elenel now stood at the entrance of a shadowy ruin, she knew she had finally found the place where the echoes of the ancient Nalathi might still resonate. Her team was small, just a handful of fellow archaeologists funded by the Interplanetary Research Council. Each member had braved the swirling storms that lashed through Valis 9's desolate basin. The starships perched on a plateau beyond the ruin, heat shimmering across their hulls. Thick clouds had gathered overhead, a mixture of dust and ephemeral water vapor, unknown to the planet's usual climate. Even the environment seemed to sense the significance of this moment. Ilana edged forward, shining her flashlight inside the yawning mouth of the entrance. Faded hieroglyphics stretched across the outer walls, evidence of a refined language with interlocking geometric shapes that had baffled all who studied it. Ridges of unknown metals, older than any living species, glinted in the dim beam. Her heart thudded in her chest. If the Nalathi's rumored wisdom proved real, perhaps it could save the countless humans and aliens struggling under resource shortages crippling the galaxy. She placed her palm on a circular console near the threshold. Smooth but slightly warm to the touch, it pulsed with a faint glow, confirming that some power source still lingered within the ruined structure after thousands of years. She inhaled a short, quick breath. "Team, let's proceed carefully," she said, her voice subdued. "Deactivate external lights. We'll rely on minimal illumination so we can better see any fluctuations in the environment." The team nodded, stepping into the darkness. A hush fell over them. In the distance, faint flickers of luminescence pinged across the corridor, as if responding to their presence. Over centuries of research, many had doubted that the Nalathi's technology remained functional, and yet, here it was, softly awakened by a mere human touch. The group moved through chambers lined with strange, crystalline pillars. Streaks of blue formed fractal patterns up the crystal walls, occasionally flickering in response to footsteps. Ilana paused to examine a panel of Nalathi inscriptions carved into black stone. She traced her gloved fingertip along the symbols. Though she had spent half her career studying these markings, deciphering them remained an elusive challenge. From behind, her colleague, Dr. Avram Pierce, murmured, "Energy signatures are rising, Dr. Howell. The deeper we go, the stronger the pulse is." "I see it," she replied, her gaze drifting to the flicker of her handheld device. "It's like the ruin itself is alive. Keep scanning, but remember, we don't know what failsafes might be active." She continued onward, heart pounding in time with the pulses. Down a flight of stairs carved from polished stone, they found themselves in a cavernous hall. Towering pillars arched overhead, their surfaces so intricately engraved that it was hard to believe organic hands had shaped them. The entire room seemed to hum with an ancient melody, a low vibrational tone that tingled in the ears. A wave of awe swept through Ilana. Surviving structures from extinct civilizations often appeared as rubble, battered by the relentless forces of time. Yet here, everything was stunningly preserved, as if the Nalathi had stepped out for a moment and intended to return. A sense of expectation clung to the air. A civilization this advanced might have left behind knowledge capable of solving the acute crisis that threatened humanity, an expanding rift phenomenon near Earth's star. Scientists believed that a cosmic distortion would soon disrupt stable fusion reactions in Sol, dooming humankind unless a radical new technology could realign the star's equilibrium. Ilana hoped the whispers of the Nalathi's genius were not hyperbole. A sudden glow drew her attention to the far end of the hall. In front of a massive arch, something emerged in the darkness. a pedestal topped with a spinning orb of pale white light. Ilana approached carefully, boots echoing on the polished floor. The orb's luminosity waxed and waned, as though it measured her every step. Dr. Avram joined her, scanning with his instruments. "This energy reading is off the charts. It's almost like it's beckoning us." Ilana's breath caught in her throat. She recalled the legends mentioning that the Nalathi had built keys to unlock the deeper chambers where they stored their most precious secrets. Perhaps this orb was such a key. As she reached out, the orb spun faster, its hum intensifying. It lifted from the pedestal, floating inches above it. Listening to her intuition, she laid her hand against it. A surge coursed through her arm. Visions flashed across her mind in a chaotic swirl. Alien cities rising to impossible heights, starships forging routes across galaxies, mesmerizing patterns of energy bridging worlds. Her eyes fluttered as ancient images and sounds lapped at her consciousness. Then the light faded, returning to the calm pulse of before. She staggered, cradling her head. "I saw. They had a network, a vast network of energy gates, bridging entire systems. It's beyond anything we've discovered." She swayed, fighting the dizziness that made the walls spin. Another member of the team rushed forward, placing a steadying hand on her shoulder. "What do you mean? A gateway system?" "Yes," she whispered. "Some kind of grid that funneled cosmic energy. If we could reconstruct it, it might stabilize our own star's flux. I believe the answers are deeper within these ruins." They continued to explore, guided by the orb's gentle pulses through twisting passages that wound beneath the surface. Each corridor branched, creating a labyrinth. Occasionally they discovered more inscriptions or abstract sculptures depicting star systems. Hours passed before they emerged into another large chamber. This time, the room was filled with massive cylindrical containers, as tall as skyscrapers when measured side by side. Countless tubes protruded from their surface, each connected to intricate control panels. Panels along the walls glowed softly, reacting to the team's presence. Ilana glimpsed glimmers of liquid starlight swirling within the tubes. Dr. Avram stepped forward, analyzing the composition. "These canisters? Looks like they held cosmic plasma, perhaps from harnessing the energy of black holes or ion storms." I've never seen anything like it." He paused, breathing heavily. "If the Nalathi mastered cosmic plasma channels, that might be how they built their civilization so rapidly." Ilana nodded, transfixed. "We have to learn how they maintained it. If we tap into the secrets of controlling cosmic plasma, maybe we can reverse the solar rift's expansion." She turned, noticing another panel flush with tiny lights. "Let me try something." Her hands moved across alien symbols. Streamlined hieroglyphs illuminated as she pressed them in a sequence guided by intuition and her partial knowledge of Nalathi script. The tubes began vibrating, releasing faint streams of luminescent matter that spiraled upward. For a moment it felt like the Nalathi themselves had returned, performing some ancient ritual. The swirling glow formed intricate constellations above the team, shimmering like a cosmic tapestry. A voice, faint and musical, echoed across the room. It spoke in the Nalathi tongue, resonating in a haunting chord that struck at the soul. Although none of them could understand the exact words, a profound sense of sadness, tinged with hope, lingered in the echoes. Ilana recognized the shape of the swirling lights. That pattern. It's the coordinates for star systems near Earth. They must have known something was going to threaten that region of space. Maybe that's what forced them to act. I suspect the Nalathi tried to prevent something similar before. She stepped closer to the control panel, carefully tapping a new sequence. The swirling illusions stabilized, blossoming into a coherent star map. Paths of luminous lines bridged different stars, forming a lattice of energy routes. There, at the heart of one shining hub, glowed a stylized symbol that she had come to associate with Nalathi power. An 8-pointed star, circled by interlocking rings. "Look at that!" Avram exclaimed, pointing to a bright node on the map. "That's our sun, or close to it." The lines connecting it to other points flickered ominously, as if conveying a warning. A surge of realization dawned on Ilana. They left behind their instructions for us to follow. They must have known that eventually someone would stumble upon this place, maybe precisely at the moment we'd need it most. The team spent days within that chamber, studying the holographic star map and its references to something the Nalathi had described as the Celestial Gate, an immense conduit that could siphon and redirect astral energy. Amid the glow, Ilana found references to a hidden library within the ruin, a place possibly containing more direct knowledge. Each inscription led them deeper underground. Along the way, exhaustion weighed on them. Their preliminary supplies ran low, forcing them to shuttle back to their base camp for water and nourishment. Storms raged overhead, whipping into cyclones of dust. It seemed nature itself fought their efforts to unearth ancient secrets. Yet none of them hesitated to return, guided by the sense that they were on the cusp of discoveries that might save far more than their single mission. After several days of charting different pathways, they located the Nalathi Library. It was less a library in the traditional sense and more like a convergence zone of mental energies. The walls were lined with spindly spires of crystal that stood hundreds of feet high. They glowed softly, each spike pulsing with stored information. Rows of crystalline pods, perhaps the Nalathi equivalent of data archives, emitted radiant patterns of color. Ilana found a circular dais at the center, identical in style to the pedestal holding the initial orb. It radiated a gentle light that made her skin prickle. She approached it alone. "I suspect the orb we found is the key," she said, her voice echoing softly. Carefully, she placed the orb on the dais. It hovered, then cracked open like a transparent shell. Out rushed a torrent of shimmering particles, snaking into the crystal spires. Slowly, the crystals resonated. A hum of alien voices swirled overhead, echoes of lectures, conversations, historical accounts. The library was alive with the memories of a civilization lost to time. Within that swirl of voices, the meaning of the Nalathi glyphs began to coalesce in Ilana's mind. No longer were they cryptic. She could grasp them, sense them, as if she had studied them her entire life. She saw flashes of the Nalathi's grand history, the founding of their civilization on distant worlds, their unification under the quest for harmonic cosmic resonance, their forging of celestial gates to protect stars from malignant cosmic fluctuations. She saw them successfully holding back deadly anomalies that threatened entire galaxies. But at some point, a cataclysm they called the final chorus struck. Their greatest gate collapsed, unleashing a chain of entropic reactions. The Nalathi perished, leaving behind only remnants of their once mighty architecture. Streams of translated text and imagery crystallized in Ilana's consciousness. She realized that among these archives were the detailed plans needed to construct a new celestial gate 1 that could stabilize Earth's star before the rift doomed the planet. She sank to her knees, tears of gratitude glistening in her eyes. Hours slipped past as she absorbed all she could. Meanwhile, her team staggered from one crystal spire to the next, scanning and copying data. Each discovered part of the puzzle: the geometry of the gate, the precise nature of cosmic plasma flows, the harmonic frequencies required to lock the star's fusion processes. Every aspect merged into a single tapestry of technology and arcane wisdom, left behind to aid future civilizations. In a moment of stillness, Ilana noticed a dais at the far side of the library. Its surface was carved in advanced glyphs that glowed white. Approaching, she recognized the structure as a final checkpoint, a repository for the Nalathi's ultimate knowledge. She placed a trembling hand upon its surface. The dais lit up, scanning her biometric signature. A voice calm, resonant, and ancient spoke through the library's crystals in something close to galactic standard. "We are the echoes of the Nalathi," it intoned. "The cosmos offers gifts aplenty, but it demands respect and understanding. We sensed your desperation, the hunger in your heart to save your world. Step forward, Accept the knowledge we once wielded in protection of the stars. May our legacy endure. Alana's mind filled with brilliance. She saw the blueprint of the gate's assembly, from the subatomic design of energy couplings to the vast ring structures that had to be arranged at solar orbit. There were warnings and safety protocols, each more advanced than anything humans had ever contrived. This wasn't just technology, it was a spiritual bond between the Nalathi and the cosmos. When the voice faded, she found herself lying on the dais, panting. Her team hovered around her, worry etched on their faces. She looked up, tears sliding down her face. "We have it," she whispered. "We have everything we need to build the gate." That night, the storms outside the ruin quieted. It was as if Valis 9 itself recognized the significance of what had transpired. The next morning, they carefully packed their equipment and recordings, making duplicates of the archived data. Avram's excitement was palpable. "Once we return to the capital starbase with this data, we must gather every engineer, astrophysicist, and quantum technician to start building. It'll be the largest undertaking in human history." They left the ruin with cautious reverence. Ilana paused at its entrance, glancing back at the intricate carvings, the corridor that led to the library. The orb that had guided them remained secure in a protective field, ready to be studied further. She wondered what the Nalathi youths had been like before their civilization fell. Had they walked these same halls, dreaming of stars? She silently promised them that their gift would not be in vain. Upon returning to Earth's main research station, the data team rushed to convert the Nalathi schematics into human-engineered blueprints. Ilana spent sleepless nights working with every available department: logistics, astrophysics, mechanical design, and quantum computing. Some parts of the Nalathi Gate required forging metals beyond humanity's standard repertoire. New mining operations sprang up on resource-rich asteroids, while advanced 3D lattice printing techniques were refined to handle the gate's colossal ring segments. Political turmoil flared as rival factions either doubted the feasibility of a Nalathi-based solution or clamored for control. Yet the Interplanetary Council overruled the dissent, funneling resources to the Gate project at unprecedented levels. Month after month, the framework of the new celestial gate took shape in orbit around Earth. Ilana supervised crucial steps, referencing the Nalathi advisors, the shimmering data crystals she and Avram had extracted, to ensure no step deviated from the original design. As the rift near the sun grew more unstable, time became humanity's bitter enemy. Observatories detected flares that threatened to warp the planetary magnetosphere. If the gate wasn't completed soon, Earth would be subjected to radiation storms unlike anything in recorded memory. On the eve of the gate's activation, Ilana boarded a shuttle to the primary ring station. Gleaming arcs of Nalathi-inspired architecture curled across the station's hull. Scientists scrambled across catwalks, calibrating energy couplings. Towering spires lined the interior rings, designed to transmit cosmic plasma channeled from safe quantum tethering points. In the station's control center, Ilana found Dr. Avram deep in a tangle of wires, verifying final connections. He flashed her a weary grin. "Systems are almost ready. How do you feel, Dr. Howell?" She tried to steady her trembling voice. "Grateful and a little scared." Together they monitored each critical subsystem. Gravity generators hummed, stabilizing the gate's massive rings. Plasma injectors pulsed in readiness, drawing energy from pre-selected cosmic vortices. The star rift's alarm klaxons sounded intermittently, warning that solar events were intensifying. Finally, the moment arrived. Ever so gently, they pressed the ignition. Within seconds, the gate's spires glowed, channeling iridescent streams of cosmic plasma. A shell of shimmering light formed in the ring's center, bridging space and time in a swirl of color. Each ring engaged, aligning to an ancient Nalathi frequency. The sun's unstable forces met the gate's new currents, swirling in a cosmic dance. Observatories across the solar system registered a massive surge. Then, an unexpected stabilizing reading. Alana's breath caught as the swirling plasmic current merged into a steady beam, directed toward the rift. There was a moment of precarious tension where it seemed the gate might fracture under the strain. Then the newly formed stream locked into a stable resonance with the sun's magnetic field, dampening the chaos swirling at the star's core. A roar of exultation swept the control center. Outside, the swirling glare around the sun's corona diminished, calming to a gentle golden light. "It's working," Avram shouted. "The rift's expansion has halted. Solar flares are returning to normal levels." Data screens confirmed that the cataclysmic event had been curtailed. The gate's energy signature remained robust, forging a protective layer between the star's fluctuating core and the surrounding space. Tears blurred Alana's vision as triumph welled inside her. She thought of the Nalathi, whose knowledge spanned eons even though their civilization lay in silent ruins. Their legacy had saved humanity from near certain doom. She closed her eyes, picturing that library on Valas 9 and the countless crystal spires pulsing with the wisdom of a lost race. In the months that followed, she oversaw the gate's continued operation and further expansions that extended Nalathi-inspired protection to other vulnerable worlds. The technology also spurred an energy renaissance. Harnessing cosmic plasma and stable forms revolutionized everything from starship propulsion to planetary defense. A once desperate galaxy found itself entering a golden era of exploration and cooperation, new alliances blossoming to further refine the gate's potential. Alana visited Valas 9 again, this time with an entourage of researchers, linguists, and spiritual scholars. They explored the Nalathi's city-sprawling complexes, some newly discovered amid the shifting dust. The ancient corridors seemed friendlier now, as if they recognized the kinship forged through shared purpose. In the great hall, she knelt near the pedestal holding the orb that had guided her so far. Its glow was calmer, more assured. A gentle breeze drifted through the ruin, ruffling Alana's hair. She placed a hand on the pedestal, feeling a subtle hum that reminded her of the steady beat of one grand cosmic heart. That intangible sense of presence filled her again, just as it had when she first glimpsed the Nalathi spectral library. "Thank you," she whispered to the drifting echoes. "Your people live on through every star we protect." She could almost imagine a soft reply, the faintest threads of music in the stillness. "We are here. We will always be here." Long after she departed the silent world, her every endeavor carried echoes of the Nalathi's ancient gifts. And so they endured, alive in the rings that guarded Sol, in the innovations that sprang from their knowledge, in the songs of the traveling ships that wove star to star, a living bridge from the distant past to a bright, unfolding future, forging unity among species once scattered, saving countless worlds which now gazed upon a stable sun and dared to dream of new horizons. No civilization, Alana had reflected, was truly gone if its gifts endured in others. And so, the Nalathi never truly perished. They thrived in the hearts of those who cherished their legacy and honored the vision that strove to protect all life. Among the star-strewn skies, the proof of their generosity illuminated new pathways for generations to come. Each light a spark of hope, carried forward, an echo of the ancients, gently guiding the future.